Over the course of the past month, we have acquired 5 photos of Chris Chan on 3 separate occasions. And today we are going to take a good look at each one of these photos. At Walmarts, at game stores, at malls, he's been very active despite his absence from the internet. Starting with the most recent 2, which were posted to 4chan July 20th. On this day, the user would post 2 photographs of Chris, one from the front and one from the back. The user would state that they played Magic at this game shop often, and this was the first time that they had seen Chris arrive. Which may not sound like much, but I think it is very telling. About 2 months ago, Chris was spotted at a completely different local card shop. And after this image was posted, users quickly discerned which card shop it was exactly. The shop would proceed to be review bombed, and I am sure that they learned all about Chris Chan the hard way. Assuming that he ever returned to this card store, he would either be banned or at least told about the situation. And I really don't think he's allowed back there, so he had to find a new game store. The reason that I say these pictures are telling is because one of them is Chris in a relaxed state, and the other one is him on high alert. More and more photos are being released of him looking directly into the camera. So you know that he has to be looking over his shoulder everywhere he goes. And with this second game shop already being doxxed, I do not see Chris returning, even if he had the option. The OP was asked about Chris Chan's infamous stench, which has been well documented by other people who have taken photos of Chris ever since he got out of jail. But when questioned about this, OP said it was nothing noticeable. Which, makes sense. That game shop looked pretty full of Magic players. All that smell is just gonna blend together. That is the most recent sighting, but there are 2 other events that we're going to cover in this video, folks, so stay tuned. On July 3rd, 2023, a user of the official Quickie Discord server posted 2 pictures of Chris that they had taken at their local Walmart. Neither of these photos capture Chris's face, but they have some very telling things and some very key details behind them. First one of note is that Chris has dyed his hair for the 2nd time after getting out of jail, going from a sort of teal color to now this dark blue that he has now. I used to believe that this was some sort of way that he would disguise himself from the trolls, but being as that his hair has been iconically blue for quite some time now, I don't know. Back when he had the teal hair and he was hiding the Sonichu medallion, I truly believed that he was making a genuine effort to conceal his identity. But the more and more photos that are being released, the more I believe he truly does not care if he's being spotted or not. Is he a little worried that someone might try to do something to him? Yes, I believe that. But does he care that people are taking pictures of him? No, I also believe that. He doesn't care if people point and laugh at him, so I guarantee you that if there wasn't some sort of court stipulation, he would already be back to posting on the internet. He's already going out in public decked out in full Sonichu regalia. I really don't think he would care what YouTube commenters have to say. And if he could legally be posting videos on the internet, making money, getting donations right now, he would. Another thing I want to point out in these photos is just what he's looking at in them. You see, these are no ordinary cans of G Fuel. No, something so simple wouldn't pique Chris's interest. It's what's on the cans that has grabbed his attention so thoroughly. His personal hero, Sonic the Hedgehog, adorns these cans. Chris had his Sonichu medallion out, so I feel like it was drawn to these G Fuel cans. I just imagine Chris staring deeply into this can of G Fuel's eyes and telepathically communicating with Sonic, setting up plans for the merge, making sure Quickville's safe, stuff like that. And one more small detail to note is the presence of a Neochristian symbol on Chris Chan's bag. It's very faint, but it's still there. It goes to show that even after receiving psychiatric care, even after he'd been released from jail, Chris still believes this whole Messiah thing. He has now fully incorporated not only Christianity, but also Islam into the Quickville mythos. And the presence of these religious symbols post-jail is further proof of that. Initially, these photos may not look like much, but when you piece all of those small details together, you get a very clear look into who Chris is post-jail. Basically the same person he was in jail, but now he just has access to his Sonichu medallion and some hair dye, as well as the ability to now interact further with the outside world, which he seems to be doing more and more frequently as time passes since his release, even recently being spotted with some brand new gal pals. Back on June 7th, 2023, a user of r/Chris Chan Sonichu posted a picture of Chris with two women at a mall. The user stated that before the photo they had had a previous interaction with Chris, where Chris had complimented their dog. And after spotting Chris on another occasion, they snapped this photo. Supposedly Chris and his gal pals were on their way to get Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Another inconspicuous looking photo with a lot to break down in it. First thing to really note, and the most apparent, is Chris's attire. Though he is wearing the Sonichu shoes, he does not have on the medallion, and he has a hat and sunglasses on. Probably his most blatant attempt yet to conceal his identity. I would say part of it is due with him being out with his gal pals and not wanting to cause a scene, and another part is all the photos that have already been taken of him. I'm sure he didn't want them to get caught up being doxxed. So big shout out to the person who blurred these two ladies' faces. I'm glad that they didn't get caught up in this. Another thing that speaks to the real secrecy of this trip was that Chris and his gal pals were visiting a shopping mall that is 66 miles away from where Chris is theorized to have been living. Driving around an hour just to get ice cream doesn't really add up to me. But driving around an hour to get out of an area that you've been spotted in multiple times does. Even then, it still wasn't enough. And I don't know if there's anything that he can ever do that will be enough, guys. Chris was already extremely viral before he entered jail, but after being charged, he made national news. It was no longer something that just people who frequented the depths of the internet knew about, making him now more recognizable than before. And that's why photos like this will continue to come out, guys. Chris might not be posting online, but you can rest assured that we'll know what he's up to. And that's all we have on Chris today, guys. Rest assured that if anything happens, I'll keep you updated. But for now, I'm just going to wait a while. I'm going to give it about a month in between these videos. Wait for a couple of different sightings to occur. And then we'll put one together, see what's going on in the world of Chris Chan. Once again, I want to thank you so much for watching, especially till the end. I hope that you have a wonderful day, night, afternoon, wherever you are. Just go have a good one. And be sure to keep it Kiwi.